But James Maddison, Dave, was trialled as well. This is full debut, believe it or not, for England, 3 years after his first cap, which seems insane, doesn't it? But he's had his chance and he took it really well against Ukraine, didn't he? How did you rate his performance?
I think there was times and periods in the game where he was a little bit quiet. I don't think it was all his fault. I think there was moments where he was getting the ball more in certain areas. I think he played quite a solid game in terms of retaining possession, not trying to overexert himself and be too clever about things when he did get the ball. I thought it was a fairly promising debut, if I'm honest, which, it sounds ridiculous to say at 26 years of age and how long we've been speaking about him finally getting this opportunity. And I think he did really well. I think it's quite an interesting one, really, isn't it? I know there's definitely going to be a debate between him and Grealish, I think, more so now after this appearance. And the thing is, they're quite different players. Maddison, I feel as though coming from Leicester, where he is the main man, and it's a similar situation when Grealish was at Aston Villa. He was relied upon to be the main man and make things happen. Ever since Grealish has gone to Man City, it's almost as if there's been an emphasis on retaining possession. He's probably not being able to affect the game as much as he would like. So I think sometimes he's felt like he's probably caught in two minds about what he wants to do with it. But we did mention it, didn't we, before the World Cup? I said I would have liked to see Maddison as part of midfield three because we saw glimpses of it in this game. It was almost like he sat back sort of into an extra midfield player. And then we saw, obviously, Chilwell offering that width on the overlap quite a few times. And I thought that was quite an interesting thing to look at and something probably Southgate will probably be looking at and think it's another sort of aspect to explore, really, what he can offer. So I think it was a really promising debut for me, and it'd be interesting to see where he goes from here, really. I don't know what England's next game is. It against North Macedonia, is it?
Not sure, to be honest. But that's what I mean. He's going to feature in future games.
It's the perfect time to obviously be giving these things a try and experimenting. No disrespect to the teams that we're playing, but we've probably arguably had our two most difficult games in the beginning of the qualifying campaign. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I think you're right. The link up with Chilwell showed how good a relationship they've had from their time together at Leicester, and they're good friends off the pitch as well, aren't they? And I think Southgate's got a good habit of doing that, hasn't he? Just finding chemistry within the team that just seems to work. And yeah, I think the way he received the ball, he had his back to goal quite a lot, didn't he? Maddison, he did come in quite deep quite often as an extra midfielder. He turned and played some lovely passes through. Can you see him being in future squads, Myles, do you think now? Because again, on the left side of midfield, there's a lot of talent there for England.
Yeah, he did play very well, but I don't think it's enough for me to think England need James Maddison, if I'm totally honest. As good as Maddison is, it's absolutely no criticism of him to be considered below Rashford in the pecking order, Grealish, Foden, Sterling. There's a lot of players to come back in. Foden obviously had appendicitis and missed this one. Sterling was out. Rashford was out. Maddison does offer something different. Is it different enough to justify his place in the squad when we've got so much depth in those wider areas or in that number 10 position? Southgate prefers Mount, for example, to Maddison. I really like James Maddison. I think he's just unfortunate that he's in the generation that he's in. I don't think we'll see a great deal of him in an England shirt. It just seems like it's one of those stories. So well done for taking your chance when you could. I thought he did play quite well. You could see he wanted to kind of put his name in lights every now and again, though. There was a couple of shots there where I thought, okay, a player that's a bit wiser, a bit more a part of Southgate's system probably knows the correct decision to make there. But no, he played really well. It works with him cutting inside, but that's not something that Foden or Grealish couldn't have offered. And really, the only reason he was able to do that was because Chilwell was behind him. If it's Shaw behind him, Shaw probably isn't getting forward as much as Chilwell, and therefore Maddison needs to be the one that stays out wide to kind of provide that width. So, yeah, I think Southgate prefers Shaw to Chilwell, and I think nothing's changed in terms of him preferring Grealish, Foden or Sterling to Maddison in this much. But it was a good game. I don't want to sound too down on him, but I don't think we'll see a great deal of James Maddison in England shirt.
I guess it depends on his next career move as well, because as Dave said, Jack Grealish's big move to Man City kind of opened the door for him at international level. Yeah. Maybe Maddison moving to someone like Newcastle seems like the favourite. If they have a good season with him next season, who knows?